And I spend all this money on like mailers and all this other stuff. And the thing that makes me the most money and costs me the least amount of money is the videos. I went from 400 followers on Instagram to I hit 25,000 since October. And just doing green screen videos.
10,000 subscribers on YouTube, 25,000 plus on Instagram. And then you have like the geographic farming with the brand off the 56, which we can get into, and then the team.
The way I do the green screen videos is find an article, throw it into ChatGPT, write a IG reel script from this, and then they'll pop it out, and then I change it to make it sound more like me. I always try to find like something that someone's not doing, at least in San Diego. YouTube is done. Like, I love YouTube. It's like, if I could hug YouTube, I would, because in 2017, I made like $65,000. And I was like, oh crap, this is not good. And then it's like, okay, then I'm gonna double down on YouTube. And then 3 years later, I made $1 million.
Jeez.
It always scared me that most of my business was coming from YouTube, because what if 37 people start doing YouTube, or YouTube goes away, like TikTok was gonna go away. That's why I want to put a portion of it toward geographic farming. I started in 2018 doing podcast or doing YouTube videos, and I was like the first one to do it. I didn't really know what I was doing, and then I was making videos about like restaurant videos, the Gary Vee model, digital mayor type thing. I did it for a year and a half. I'm like, I know this is gonna work. I think I got one person to reach out to me from it in a year and a half, just interviewing local businesses, and people like in my community liked it, that sort of thing. It would get like 200 views. I'm like, yes, this is doing so good. I'm gonna make so much money from this. And then I was like, this is not working. I'm like, my wife's like, what do you people like the videos, but I don't think people are connecting that you're working real estate. You're just making videos about local businesses. So I went to you know what BombBomb is, the CRM.
Yeah,
so I went to, they had one event one year, they had a BombBomb like conference sort of thing. And I went in 2019 and met Karen Carr. Do you know Karen Carr?
Yep.
Yeah, so she was one of the first ones to do YouTube for real estate agents. She wrote a book on it. And she's like, she was doing all these videos about like moving to living in. I'm like, she's like, you should really try these videos, because we had a long conversation about it. And I'm like, I don't think anybody's gonna watch those. So I did one, and it got like 2,000 views. I'm like, huh. And then I got a phone call from it like the next week. I'm like, you got to be kidding that these videos are working. So I just doubled down ever since then, and then I started making videos more regularly. Even in the beginning, I wasn't that consistent. I would make two a month, something like that. And then if I would have done it more consistently right away, I would have even done better. But you can't go backwards, obviously. So then COVID came around, and then I think the first deal I closed from YouTube was probably 3 months after I changed my style. And then that person has bought 6 homes from me since then.
Nice. Great life.
From my first, I'm like, and I spend all this money on like mailers and all this other stuff. And the thing that makes me the most money and costs me the least amount of money is the videos. So then in COVID came around, I thought like people weren't going to buy houses anymore. So it scared me. And then I just kept making videos. And then the market went absolutely crazy in San Diego specifically. And I closed more deals than I could. I didn't have a day off for like 2 years, it felt like. Maybe I had a day off here and there, but like the leads that I kept coming in for that time was just me and Dan making videos. It was just like, and I couldn't even keep up with them. I was missing people, couldn't respond to them in time. And then they would keep following up with me until I responded to them. That's how many leads I was getting, because I was too overwhelmed. And I didn't have a team at the time, so I couldn't keep up with them. So I lost some people, but along the way, it was just unbelievable how well YouTube videos would work. It still works today. It's just not as crazy as it was. Like now, leads per month, I probably get like 3 to 5 good leads. People say, oh, I get like 100 leads, and there's only like 3 ones that are actually good. But now it's like I'm still doing videos. I'm probably doing 2 to 3 per month instead of like 6 per month. And now I'm doing more Instagram videos that has taken off a lot for me. Well, the less views and leads I've gotten probably like 3 leads since I started in October that are good leads that are actually working with me. Nice. And I went from 400 followers on Instagram to I hit 25,000 since October. So. Yeah. And just doing green screen videos. And I like doing them because I don't have to leave my office. And they take me about like 3 minutes to film them and edit them. So that's another thing. I was just amazed how well it works. So.
Yeah. And I mean, there's a lot to unpack there. Like
I know I kind of went all over the place.
No,
I
you're
went
good.
YouTube and Instagram together. So
10,000 subscribers on YouTube, 25,000 plus on Instagram, and then you have like the geographic farming with the brand off the 56, which we can get into, and then the team.
Yes.
But just out of curiosity, kind of taking a step back to YouTube, kind of looking at the content you do now versus the content you did at the beginning, you're doing relocation, still neighborhood content, but then you also added in some of the like growth and development stuff, and then new construction. Like, how do you think through the content you create? Yeah,
so I do, the YouTube is mainly just relocation, like you mentioned. Okay. So I try to focus. I don't try to do, although I do a little bit of like a YouTube live that kind of talks about things going on in San Diego. But for the most part, my recorded videos are almost all relocation content. I used to do other stuff on there that I feel like kind of confused the algorithm. I used to do like hotel tours and like kids activity things, which is, it was almost becoming more of a travel type channel. And I was like, I think I was kind of losing the right audience that I was going for. Those videos would still do well, but I didn't want to confuse the algorithm. Like I wanted this to be shown to people that want to move to San Diego. So I pivoted back to just relocation content, and that's all I do on that channel now. And then for Instagram, I've always had like a love-hate relationship with Instagram, quite frankly. Like I have a coach for real estate, and he's like, you got to do Instagram. I'm like, I hate it. I don't want to do it. And then I found a friend of mine was doing these green screen videos about like local news type stuff on Bill Olson and Bill
Charleston.
Yeah, and then Brandon Blankenship in Chicago. And I'm like, because I always wanted something I could do consistently. If I can do it consistently, I'll do it like every day, because I'm like a pain in the ass that way. So, and then I found this one. I'm like, I can do these quickly. I like doing them because it's different than YouTube. YouTube, there's like a lot of planning and like you have to go out on location and editing and that sort of thing. These ones, I have a teleprompter. And then I have the camera hook up there. It's just at my desk all the time now. So that, like, a lot of people's problems are like, I have to set it up, and like there's a lot of obstacles that get in the way. But this Instagram one is like, I just film it, green screen, put something in the background, talk about it, and you get 50,000 views. So, and now I'm getting like people reaching out to me. Like I have like this lady that's running for senator reached out to me like this past week. The Front Wave Arena here is like where San Diego Clippers are. It's like, hey, can you give out free tickets, and we'll give you free tickets courtside to the next game. I'm like, sure. I don't really want to do like sponsorships for the most part, just because I want it to be
keep it.
So once people do sponsorships, I feel like
it starts to dilute things.
And my goal is not to make money from sponsorships; it's to get people to
buy real estate.
And sell. So,
and
does that answer your question? I feel like I went all over the place.
The green screen that you're doing, it's funny because Brandon copied. I don't know if you know Austin Clark.
I don't know.
San Francisco, brand new agent 2 years ago. Went from a lawyer to real estate, and he like built his business off of it, and told Brandon how to do it, and then Brandon started doing it, and then I think Bill started doing it, and I think
Bill got it from Brandon, and then Chris Coughlin,
and then Kyle Talbot started.
Kyle Talbot, that's it,
and then it just started being like
now every city's got one. It's like YouTube, like we like started doing it in YouTube. I mean, other people did it before us, and now there's like 3,000 people that are doing it. So it definitely has. Once one real estate agent finds out, like it works, okay, I'll do it. And then it's just,
So I'm curious because everyone kind of does it slightly differently. Mm-hmm. Like, do you go to like, for example, I don't know if San Diego has the Business Journal.
Yep.
And that tends to sometimes be the source of like topic.
Yeah. I usually go, so I have about 8 bookmarks on my computer that I just put them up in the tab, and every day I'll look at it probably 3 times a day and to see like what's coming up. And I go to there's one called San Diegoville, the San Diego Union Tribune, which is just the newspaper. There, San Diego, What Now San Diego, the Coast News. There's like 10 different things that I just look at every day and look for something to talk about.
Nice.
And then if I can, in a perfect world, I batch them all together and shoot them all at the same time. But the news happens every day, so it's just like you try to find things that are worth. And now I've done it enough that I kind of know which ones are going to perform pretty well. And sometimes I know one won't perform well, but it'll get to the right audience. So even with YouTube now, I'm not as worried about like views and subscribers because I'm more like niching down on areas that I want. Because instead of just doing broad neighborhood tours, like say you're going to do Carmel Valley, there's probably 5 distinct neighborhoods in Carmel Valley. So I'm gonna do 5 videos instead of 1 video in Carmel Valley.
Yeah.
It's not gonna get as
100%.
many views, but like I just released one today. I don't even know how well it's done yet, but so I'm doing micro neighborhood tours versus just big neighborhood tours.
Yeah.
So, and I think that will, in the long run, might not get the views and subscribers, but the people that are watching that specific video are the people that I want. So.
Oh yeah, 100%. That's same conversation we had with Dan.
Oh, yeah.
Hyper local.
I think
niche.
when me and Dan first started, we would just do super broad, like North County neighborhoods or this. Now we're going like as small as humanly possible. So.
Yeah, which is, it's funny how it's kind of come full circle.
Because all the new people that are doing it in San Diego are still doing the broad ones, and if not, we just try to stay one step ahead of everybody else. So don't tell anybody this though.
Dan shared a handful of stuff. So
yeah, well, me and Dan kind of think alike too. So
yeah. It's funny, but
did Dan tell you how we met?
A little bit, like
okay.
he came from EXP, and you guys were both doing.
Well, we were doing content at the same time, and then I reached out to him. I was like, "Hey, I've been watching your YouTube channel. Do you want to meet for coffee?" And he thought I was gonna like yell at him for like making videos or whatnot. I'm like, "No, I just wanted someone else to talk to." Because there was like
no one else doing
real
it, yeah.
estate and video. Now a lot of people do it, but like there wasn't many people in San Diego doing any video at all. So I just wanted someone else to like bang ideas off of. So
yeah,
and that was 2000. I don't even know what year that was. 2019, 2020 probably.
It's like everyone talks about how like being an entrepreneur, being a business owner is very lonely, and it's the same thing with like creating content.
Yeah,
like, it can be lonely until you find like a group to like collaborate with.
And now we have like mastermind. I have like text masterminds with people that do YouTube videos, and then I have another one that does the Instagram green screen videos. So Rick Lee, do you know Rick Lee?
We're interviewing him tomorrow.
Oh, he's great. Yeah, so he's doing the green screen stuff too. So and then who else is in that? Bill's in that one, and then who else? One more person. Drawing a blank. I'm confusing all my groups now.
Yeah, I'm in a group chat with Brandon Blankenship, Wilson Leong up in the Bay, and then Matt London. And like just talking all the time about like marketing.
Yeah.
So.
And then the other thing that's working on Instagram are these map videos. Have you seen these map videos?
Yeah, Brandon stole that from you.
Yeah, well, I told him to. I was like, you should steal it. And then Brandon sent me this thing from another guy in San Diego that's doing it. He's like, dude, this guy's it looks exactly like your video. The guy found out what guy I used to edit it.
Yeah.
And then you started using them. And I reached out to the guy. I was like, dude, I don't have like the law of doing these map videos, but at least change the colors or something. They look exactly like my video. It's like, no one's going to confuse our content. And I'm like, oh, great. I'm like, 3 people sent me this map video saying you're ripping me off. So just change the colors.
Change
That's
the
all
color.
you have to make it your own. Don't just like rip somebody else's off.
So we could probably squirrel one way.
Yeah, I squirrel a lot, sorry.
No, you're good. You and I probably the same thing. But going to like, you mentioned something where it's like looking at, you want to create certain content on like Instagram and YouTube that you know this one's going to perform and this one's going to get the right view. Yeah. Can you talk about that difference?
Yeah, so I know there's certain, like if there's something brand new that's come to San Diego, like there's this, what's it called? One Up Arcade or... No, Round One Arcade. Have you ever heard of this?
I don't.
So it's this big arcade. It's sort of like a big Dave & Buster's. And it just got announced. I literally made the video like 30 seconds after I saw it and posted it. And it got like, I don't know, 300,000 views or something like that. So I knew that one's going to do well. It's probably not my target audience. But then I'll do like, I'm very conscious of trying to do one real estate related video every single week. And now I end the videos the same way. I stole this from Bill Olson. I say, at the end of each video, I say, and once again, my name is Bern McGovern, local realtor, and I keep up with San Diego news, so you don't have to. So it's just to plug it every single video at the end of it. I didn't do that for the first like 3 months, but now I'm doing it every time. So
nice. So that's like the high view video.
Yeah.
And then the one that you know it's gonna get the right view.
Yeah, like anything real estate related or like new construction neighborhoods coming. Okay. Those ones do they actually do pretty well. They'll get like 20,000 views, but it's not going to be the 300,000 views that'll get me like 2,000 followers or sort of thing. So and then I'll do like. Those map videos do really well. I revolve around real estate, and then I'll just do like home price, which one neighborhoods have appreciated the most, like in 2025, 2024, or just this month's market stats do really well too, which I was surprised by.
The neighborhood appreciation, is that neighborhood or city?
Both. I'll do both. I'll do
Oh,
a
okay.
city one, and I'll just do which neighborhoods appreciated the most in 2024. That one did really well.
Interesting. That's good.
And then sometimes I'll just do like a reel that's just has the stats on them.
Yeah, like
I'm not
a
even in them.
faceless B-roll.
But I actually want to turn those into like my face on them, and then talk about the stats, which I think I'm going to do next month. So
Nice.
yeah.
Well, so the article one is interesting because there's this guy named Ryan Snaden who runs Naptown Scoop in Annapolis, one of the biggest like hyper local newsletters.
Okay.
Had him on the podcast, and he talked about.
Is he a realtor?
Not a realtor.
Oh, okay.
And he just makes like, it's just the hyper local newsletter makes over $300K a year just from like ads from
That's crazy.
in the email newsletter.
Yeah.
And he has a VA that searches every morning and night for articles.
Really?
It's just every single day. It's just like,
Ooh, I should use that actually.
Yeah.
Because like half my day, I feel like I'm just looking for things to talk about.
and that's it.
And the funny thing about doing these videos is like you learn so much about your city that
Yeah.
like everyone now comes to me and they have a question about, it's like, oh, what's going in the store? What's going in here? So like you're now like literally the neighborhood expert or like city expert really, because and like my Instagram is actually called North County San Diego, so it's not. But I will go in, if it's a big enough article, I'll talk about San Diego City. Or like we have, there's a new arena that might get built downtown, stuff like that. So I did one on today, like, could the NFL come back to San Diego? And that one I knew would do well. So.
Yeah, it's very like, Ken Posick kind of started that big growth development topic.
Sure.
And then that's like kind of spawned, like, it's a great way to target local people and then also like out of market interests.
Yeah, and I think YouTube is more relocation, and then my Instagram is more people living locally. So that's kind of like I can cover both sides of it, and hopefully, the Instagram can turn into buyers and sellers. Hopefully, more sellers too in the long run. But it's definitely already started. I think the more I do it, the more it should work. I think so.
Yeah.
And I'm doing I just started a newsletter for it too.
Nice.
So I'm just getting people to subscribe to that now. And then I'm going to do a weekly newsletter for that. And then I might turn it into a website, sort of like the Orlando Reel.
Yeah.
And then have a home search on there and then just local news and kind of do it that way. But I'm trying to get good at one thing first and then add the second piece after.
So do you want to build something, maybe not to the scale, but maybe to the scale or maybe a smaller scale to Ken?
Yes.
Okay, because
that was always kind of my plan. I've been wanting to do that for a while, and I didn't really know how to do it. But now around this North County, San Diego Instagram, I could see it actually working. But my only problem with this might be not accurate, but I was like, my head is like, if I build a website and a newsletter, are people going to subscribe to the newsletter if I have a website they can just go to every time to see it? But I think people still would.
It's kind of different content between what you put in the newsletter in a website too.
Yeah, it's true.
So, and most people open their email, they don't always go to the website every single day.
Yeah, it's true. I know I would, so I'm assuming other people would too. But sometimes you talk yourself out of things too. So.
Exactly. but
yeah, that's in my perfect world. I would like to have the Instagram, the newsletter, and the website. But I did the Instagram. Now I just added the newsletter, and then if the newsletter goes well, I think I'll probably do the website too. So.
Interesting. Yeah, Dan's like, I don't want to do anything. He doesn't want to have like that type of like media company or anything.
I know. I have more fun with the media than I do the real estate part of it, probably. So.
That's nice.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen. What interests me is like we're probably not that far off. I don't know if you saw like Manus is one of the new AIs, but then there's ChatGPT operator, and then there's like a couple other ones where you can kind of do tasks. And then you can also build stuff with like Lovable or Cursor, but we're not that far off from something that can kind of do tasks. Like you could just have an AI go to the website and source articles.
Okay.
Like, I don't know if
I've heard of them. I really need to get better at learning how to do them. Every time I go to this real estate conference, there's always one thing on AI. I'm like, oh, you can do all. And I'm always like amazed by it. And then I come back and I'm like, what did he say I should be doing? So I'm sure it's only going to get better.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, the reason I asked that, I've been trying to build one for the past like 2 months, and it's just like keep getting into roadblocks.
Gotcha.
Because it's like every new iteration of the AI model, like it changes something. But there's Manus looks like one of the best.
How do you spell Manus?
Manus, and I can give it to you too.
We can talk after.
Yeah. The unfortunate part is it's waitlisted right now.
So it is?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So, but yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
So when you kind of think about like everything that you're doing, have you thought, because Ken has like, he's got his channel, he's got his Team Pozek channel, and then he's got the Orlando Real YouTube channel as well now. And he's got like 3 YouTube channels, and then the Orlando Real Instagram. Like, I think there's a play for a local Instagram or a local YouTube, and that you have Dan, who mentioned he's going to try to build living in Carlsbad.
Yeah, just a straight Carlsbad one.
Yeah.
And I think I've thought about like creating a second channel. Like one is just about already people that live in San Diego versus one that's doing, because right now I dabble a little bit of things of like people
Both.
are little, and for YouTube, I think you just have to be so specific on what your channel is for that sometimes when I do like these YouTube lives on things that are going on in San Diego, it's not the right audience sometimes. But I do get a lot of people that reach out. Like this guy, actually right before I had the showing in La Jolla, was a guy that found me from YouTube. So, and he's been living here for 2 years. So they still keep up with, like he watched it before he moved here and then he still watches it when he's living here. So there is a lot of crossover.
Yeah.
But I still think with YouTube, more specific you are, the better it can be. So.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm like, I could just create 2 separate channels. One is just like for people that already live here, sort of like a North County, San Diego, or whatever, Orlando Real. And then just do that. And this one's just relocation, and this one's just for people that live here. And then I don't think it would grow. I mean, if you're good enough, like Ken's really good on camera. Like I'm good because I can edit it and I can make it look like I'm pretty good at it. But like Ken's just natural on video. So that's the beauty of editing. So
it helps.
Yeah, it does. And Dan's really good on camera too. He can just like talk and he just goes. Like for me to do like a sit down recorded video, unless I'm talking to somebody, I'm good like conversationally.
That's exactly why I'm doing a podcast. Yeah. More introverted stuff.
I know, exactly. But Dan could like literally talk to a wall for like 3 hours. And I'm like, it's impressive. And I can't. So, but that's why when a lot of my YouTube videos, I have another person in there with them because I'm better conversationally. If I'm like reading a script or like trying to do it, it sounds fake to me.
So you have someone like on your team who's just like sitting there with you, or
no? I mean, like when we do our neighborhood tours.
Neighborhood tours. Okay.
Courtney, who's on my team, we do the videos together.
Yeah.
Like Ken sometimes has a video.
Yeah.
Girl in his videos too. And when we do the tours, I find it more engaging when you can bounce conversations off each other. 100%. That's just me personally.
100%.
Some people can do it by themselves and be great at it. I'm just not one of those people. So.
Yeah, I think it makes it engaging too.
Yeah, it's true.
So Ken said publicly that he actually pivoted his channel because there's like super heavy relocation, and he said that like he focuses more so he's got the Orlando whole, and then he'll go super niche into like Winter Garden.
He talks about Winter Garden a lot.
Winter Garden, Golden Oak, and a few other areas, and go super specific in those neighborhoods. And then what he started doing this past year was like home tours on his channel, and then adding a little like area information into home tour. And it's like, he said it's kind of paid off dividends because he saw the pivot with like the NAR.
Yeah.
And he was trying to get a way to target more homeowners.
Yeah.
And going that broad growth, Orlando, some relocation stuff, and then having that layer.
Yeah.
Was helpful to like target locally too. I
know. Every year I kind of go in like, should I go in a slightly different direction? And I've done like listing videos, like almost a listing video around a neighborhood tour or neighborhood tour around a listing video. And those ones have done pretty well too. So we kind of weave them both into one thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've gone back, and then I used to make these long listing videos, like, not long, but like for a listing video, like a 3 to 5 minute listing video that has neighborhood tours and this, or we acted out one, and I've kind of gotten away from those and just doing the short Instagram version ones now that people seem to be doing like crazy right now. So Rick Lee does some great ones if you talk to him about it too. So
yeah, it seems like a lot of people are kind of do that really short.
Yeah, even Brad McCallum, he's mostly doing Instagram listing videos versus his long YouTube video ones that he did. So
it's interesting. Because the audience demographic on YouTube is older, so it's like that's the audience that's selling.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, because I haven't seen as many like horizontal listing videos as much recently. Maybe I'm not looking for them, but like is it Brad doing them anymore? I'm not even sure.
He is, but his channel is kind of, it's not as blowing up as much as it did. Sure. It's just like growing.
Yep.
So
I think once you get to a certain point, it doesn't grow as fast too. I've been like right around 10,000 subscribers for like all year, I feel like. So or since last year. So it's just like for relocation channel, there's a few exceptions like the Ken Pozeks and Brad McCallums and who was the other one? Paul Likens in Florida, if you know Paul. He sometimes they'll get into like a niche and it'll blow up, but for the most part, most people are between 5 and 10,000, like normal real estate agents, and then there's the outlier people. So
yeah, there's an interesting thing that you mentioned was doing the area tour with the home, and you can have a much longer form video too, like 15, 30 minutes plus. Like, have you seen, from at least what I've seen, the like watch time and the people, YouTube seems to want to like push longer videos.
Have you interviewed Paul Wolford before?
Not.
Do you know him though?
Yeah.
So he's doing these really long house tours. Like he'll do like an hour long, like they're like mansions and stuff like this. But he'll just him talking to the camera, like, oh, love these floors. It's made of mahogany or something like, It's just he's also very like good on camera and funny and stuff like that too. But he's like, he was making tons of ad revenue, and he's getting, I think the views were like, some of them were getting like 100 and 200,000 views on for an hour long video about a house. And they're like, can you go slower through the video? That was the biggest comment. It's like, dude, it was an hour long. Like, how much slower can I go? So I actually wanted to try to do, I did it one after it, but it was like such a small house. Like I couldn't do an hour. But it was beachfront, so I thought it could do well. It didn't do that well.
Have you ever heard of Ruth Christian or San Francisco?
No.
You should check her out. She's in San Francisco, living in San Francisco. She's kind of gone all in on this a little bit. Yeah. Done like a few, and like it's like 30 to 60 minutes long, and it's like
house tours
and then sells the area too. Okay. So
is she filming it herself, or she has a videographer doing it?
I think videographer. Okay. So
I actually find the ones I film myself do sometimes better than I do the ones with a videographer. So
yeah,
I think I'm better when I'm filming myself versus like at least me on camera physically. I don't know why.
It feels more natural.
It feels more natural. It's like this. It feels more natural for me to film myself and then versus someone like, okay, action, that sort of thing. So.
You see a lot of like driving tours and walking tours like that.
Yeah, I've seen those. Yeah.
Because what's DJI Osmo, I think?
Yeah, I have the DJI Osmo. I have like every camera imaginable. I have the DJI Osmo Pocket, and then I have the DJI Osmo Action 4, which I actually like better than the Pocket for the vlogs.
Yeah, the Action 4 is what everyone loves because it's super easy.
It's super steady. You can your mic's now Bluetooth to them, so you don't even have to have a cable in it. So it's like, oh my god, this is exactly what I've been wanting for like ever. So I've been doing a lot of neighborhood tours like that.
That's the interesting thing. Like Dan mentioned, is like he's trying to do more like authentic videos, trying to do more raw, real. I've started to see that's starting to get like a little more kick on YouTube. Like when you mix that with like longer form, San Diego is just kind of ripe for lifestyle.
It is.
Like,
I mean, you could show off. I mean, San Diego's huge. There's 3 million people here. So then there's like, I haven't been in every single neighborhood in San Diego. So it's just like there's endless content you do. I got a little burned out from it, honestly, over the last 4 or 5 years. I've been doing videos since 2018. So what year is it now? 7 years? Oh my God, 7 years. So it's just like I can't do another pros and cons or moving to or living like video again just because I'm like I've done it 10 times. I'm just like, but they say you can do it every year because your audience that watched that first one is different than the audience that's watched it this year. And the pros and cons sometimes change too. So.
Yeah, but it's like now that, for example, like you mentioned earlier, like 37 people in the market.
Well, there's 37 pros and cons of living in San Diego.
Yeah.
So
it's like when you start to do something different than what they're all doing, they're not thinking, oh, let me create that video because you're thinking differently than what they're doing because they're just pros and cons moving to. So.
Sorry. Hey, Greg, can I call you back? Sorry. I meant to hang it up and I answered it. Sorry, what was the question?
We were just talking about how like with the 37 channels in San Diego, like like when everyone's doing pros and cons, if you kind of do something different that they didn't think about, like for example, like the growth stuff or like maybe a more kind of like lifestyle neighborhood tour or something like that, it's like they're going to be copying you at that point.
That's why I always try to find like something that someone's not doing, at least in San Diego. I'm happy to rip off other people throughout the country, but like the green screen videos and Instagram, no one was really doing them.
Yeah.
And now they're doing well. I'm sure other people will duplicate it if it works. And then no one was really doing YouTube when I first started doing it. So granted, I had to go through like 2 years of trying to figure out what actually worked until I figured it out. But I like to see what other people are doing through the country, and I'm like, if they can do it, I can do it here. So, and then if like everybody's doing the same thing in San Diego, I like, what can I be different from those people to set yourself apart? So
nice.
Yeah.
So talking about like the process and the team and everything, like how do you keep a hold of everything?
It's a great question. I pretty much am the brainchild behind it all, so I come up with like 98% of the ideas. I've had a few different videographers along the way. I really would like to get a full-time videographer that I can that edits and films all my videos. I've had a couple guys that like on retainer, like that we've done, but then they either move on or they need more money or whatever it is. So, but in a perfect world, and it doesn't even really necessarily, I don't have to film every day, but have a guy that comes in like twice a week and then edits the rest of the time. Just because sometimes, like when I had a guy on pretty much full time, I didn't have enough time to film sometimes. So I also need to take some of the stuff off my plate and not do all the buyers, because the buyers just take up a really long time, and I should hand off more of those people to buyers agents and that sort of thing. But so I have a videographer, I have an editor that I think he lives in Phoenix or something. I'm not even sure where he lives. So he edits a lot of my videos. Sometimes I actually like editing. I'm like a weird one like that. Because I feel like that's where you really tell the story. So I can like when I'm filming something, I'm already like editing in my mind, like how I'll say, okay, I'll do this part first, this part, this, that one. And I think that would be a lot better if I planned it all ahead of time. But if you're trying to get videos out every week, it's hard to do planning. So if I had like a media person that kind of helped me with it, I think that would be great. But again, baby steps. So.
I was going to ask you that. It's like, because ultimately, like, you can have endless ideas and then you have to script it. And then, like, do you have any sort of system around that front end or not really?
ChatGPT has been really helpful with, like, organizing. Sometimes I'll write out the whole thing. Okay, organize this into a script form, and then it'll tell me, okay, start here, 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 here. So that has helped me a lot. But I almost need someone to, like, be a partner that will help me navigate all my ideas and put them on paper and then just go. But right now, I am not the most organized person. Me and Dan were almost going to work together at one point, but I'm like the least organized person in the world, and Dan is very organized. And I was like, Dan, I will drive you absolutely insane. So I don't think it ever worked out. So,
well, it could be yin.
Yeah, it could. I mean, I'm an idea guy, and then I was like, okay, let's go figure it out and do it. And Dan's like, let's plan the whole thing first and then go do it, which is a better way to do it. But that's just not, unfortunately, the way I'm built.
So what does the team kind of look like underneath right now? Like,
so I have an admin, and then that helps me with a lot. They help me with a lot of the ideas too. So or like at least like I'll come up with the idea and it's like, help me research this idea and find out, because the researching and writing scripts and all this or outlines just takes up a lot of time. So that's been super helpful. And then I have two buyer's agents, and that's pretty much the team. We're very small.
Nice.
Team. I never really had a dream of having like a huge like 50-person team. It's just like, that's just not anything. Even having like 4 people is like, I don't want to manage people. I just like to create ideas and put out videos, and clients come to me. So I don't cold call. I don't like door knock. I don't do any of that stuff. So,
I mean, just trying to think through, it's like between the newsletter, between YouTube, between short form, you want to start putting blogs, website, like you're the one creating.
Well, the admin does a lot of it. So the way I do the green screen videos is find an article, throw it into ChatGPT, write a IG reel script from this, and then they'll pop it out, and then I change it to make it sound more like me, and then I film it and go. And then she turns it into a blog post, my admin, which I think basically we just use ChatGPT. And I'm like, don't plagiarize, make this a blog post, and we make a blog post. And then it goes into the newsletter. And then eventually that newsletter will become on the website and that sort of thing. So right now we have a website, but it's just like our local Off the 56 home team website.
Really quickly, before we get back into the episode, did you know that email beats the ROI of social media 40-1? If you want to turn your email list into more listing appointments, then you need to check out Ella. Ella is the only email marketing agency for real estate agents. We help you build a hyper-local email newsletter. We also send conversation starter emails, and we do way more. So you can turn your email into a profitable marketing channel this year. Click the link below. Check it out. hope to see you in there. Let's get back to the episode. It gets good search. It comes up.
Oh, does it?
Organically, yeah.
That's good.
So
it's working, I guess.
Yeah. So like when you look at the pie of your business and like where it kind of all comes from, like what's that kind of pie look like? So
the pie used to be probably about 70% YouTube. Now it's probably 50% YouTube and then 50% geographic farming or sphere of influence sort of thing, which it always scared me that most of my business was coming from YouTube, because what if 37 people start doing YouTube or whatever it is, or YouTube goes away, like TikTok was going to go away. So that's why I made a lot of money from being on YouTube from deals and that sort of thing. So I was like, that's why I want to put a portion of it toward geographic farming. That's right. Okay. And event. We do a lot of events too. So
nice.
So now I like that 50% is just from YouTube. I would almost prefer it was like 30% that was YouTube and the rest was from like sphere of influence, farming, that sort of thing.
So what have you found work? Because yours is working. Obviously, it's been like 3 years. Yeah. Dan said he's only been doing it for a year. But like, what have you found here are the things if you want to geographically farm and succeed? Yeah. Like,
so what I've done, I send a mailer out once a month. It's like a 8x10 newsletter that has local news, stats. And I'll put like new coffee shops opening down the street. It's super hyper. That's awesome. Hyper local. So
because most are just like just listed, just sold.
Yeah, which is boring as I hate like just listed, and I almost don't even want to put them on the newsletter. But it's like we have to make it look
some
like
type of real estate.
So we put like local like recent sales on one side, and the rest of it's just local news.
Nice.
So it's just like anytime something's opening or closing or something related to the area that people want to know about, I put it in there. And I'll go into people's houses and it's like on their fridge. So, nice. or I'll put like a coupon to the new coffee place that just opened or something like that. So, and I know all the owners of restaurants because everybody wants me to feature them on either Instagram or YouTube and stuff. So
that's awesome. It's like between all the pieces, you basically have kind of like a hyper local media company, and it's just like just building it out. And ultimately,
I almost need one person to like run that entire thing for me because I actually like it, which is why I don't really want to give it up. But sometimes my time can be used better ways because there's always something I like. Oh, I want to. Sometimes I'll work every day of the week. I'm like, I probably shouldn't do that. And I'm like, okay, but then I could be making videos this day if I took the day off. So it's a problem.
Yeah. It's like work-life balance.
Content, it is. Yeah. I mean, I still get to go to all my kids' sports and stuff like that. So I do plan around all that sort of thing. So it's been good.
Nice.
Yeah. It's a good problem to have, I guess. But as I get busier, I definitely want to have someone that can just take off a lot of the stuff off my plate. So.
Yeah. Do you see it more of like almost like an in-house creator or more like a project manager? Like.
I would say I almost want like a person that does both, but I don't think there's a person that does both of those things really well. Like a creative mind versus one that like, manages that sort of thing. So. Like I think an admin and then like the media manager I think would be the most useful. I already have the admin and I've added someone that can help run all the media stuff. Like would be super helpful I think. But
so that would probably be slightly more of a project manager.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Okay. Nice.
Because I'm like the creative mind. Although sometimes I would like to bounce ideas off people because sometimes I just have too many ideas. So.
Yeah. Good problem to have.
Yeah, I guess. My wife might not say that, but.
So going back to like the geographic farm and everything, when you're looking at...
Oh, right.
Sorry.
Squirrel.
Yeah, squirrel. You're going into like, okay, I guess we could even take it a whole nother way. It's like when you think of like time to invest, money to invest in people and all of these pieces, like, do you track any sort of metrics across everything? Or?
Yeah, couldn't tell you the exact numbers off the top of my head, but like the first year I did geographic farming, I did it every month. I think I got one close, like one listing from it. And then year 2, I think I got like 2 or 3. I think this is the start of year 3. So this year alone, I already have 2 closings or 2 in escrow right now and hopefully I get, we're only in March right now, so I'm hoping I get 5 this year and the price points of our neighborhoods they start at like $1.5 million. So
Yeah, good.
even if I get one deal closed from it per year, it pays for itself. So
Yeah.
if I get 2, 3, 4, 5, and I feel like every year it should work better than it did the year previously, as long as I'm consistent, because most people do it for a year and stop. It's when you hit year 2 to 3 is I think when it really starts to take off, because people see your name for 3 years straight, and they're not always ready to sell, but when they do go to sell, oh, this guy sent me something for the last 5 years. So, and a lot of, in my neighborhood specifically, no one else does it, because a lot of people have gotten away from print newsletters. But if you're the only, like again, if no one's doing it, I like to do it.
Yeah.
And if everyone's doing it, then I'm like, oh, let's try something different, sort of thing. That's why I'm doing the Instagram stuff now too. So
It helps that you have multiple pieces.
Yeah.
It's not just like YouTube or not
Yeah.
just like Instagram.
Well, people come into my open houses now. I'm like, oh, you're the YouTube. First, for a while, it was just YouTube. It's like, oh, you're the guy who's on Instagram now. So now I'm like, okay, I'm doing both. So I hit people from multiple different, either print, YouTube, Instagram, or I do a lot of events. So we do like a movie night in the park every year. I do a neighborhood garage sale that goes out on the newsletter. And then we do first day of school, last day of school. We do a coffee cart, and then shaved ice. And then we have Santa comes in. We have an office right in my farm that it's basically a billboard right in the middle of it. And we have Santa, the real Santa comes to my office. So that's good. So yeah, I try to do like 5 community events a year, and then like 2 to 3 client events a year.
Okay. And kind of closing the loop on like the numbers thing is, do you just kind of look at like leads and closings basically?
Yeah, basically, and like how much money I'm spending on it.
Yeah.
So, like the mailers are probably the most expensive thing that I do, but those are the ones that get me the most listings. And listings I find to be worth more than a buyer lead sometimes. So each year I get a few more listings from it, then it's definitely working. And if it starts to work, I could even add more mailers to it. I'm doing about 2,500 homes right now, so I could always add another neighborhood or just do more to the same neighborhood.
That's what would be interesting because you're doing one monthly, right?
Yeah.
And if it's very hyper-local news, it's like you have options. You can either expand, or you can almost go weekly.
Yeah, or double down and do more of them. So I think from what I've heard from other people, doing more per month is probably better than adding another neighborhood.
Yeah.
Just because 2,500 homes is a decent amount of homes. The turnover rate, that's the one thing I struggle with on my farm, is super low. It's like 2% turnover rate or something. And they say to be successful at geographic farming, it should be like 4+. But I think that also goes in if it's a lower price point. If you're in like the $400,000 range or something like that. But if $1.5 million plus, like they go from 1.5 to like 2.5, you get 2 to 3 leads, 2 listings from it. It's still pretty good return. So,
I guess what's kind of stopping between just taking your weekly newsletter and kind of making that your weekly mailer?
Yeah, just more money.
Oh, money, yeah.
So, I spend a lot of money on things. Like I did when I was just making videos, I wasn't like, my coach was like, how much money are you spending on like business related things? I'm like, I just make videos. And it cost me, and I edit a lot of them, so it cost me some like $500. He's like, that's all you're spending? And then one year I made like a lot of money. And then he's like, you made that much money and you only spent like $5,000 for the year? I'm like, yeah. And now I spend like a lot more money, and it's like, I was like, man, I should just go back to the way it was. So.
You're like, maybe somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, somewhere in the middle would probably be better. So, yeah, because I spent on the newsletters or the print newsletter, and then I guess I don't spend that much, but the events cost a lot of money. Like that movie night cost me $10,000 for one day event, which I was like, could I just do 5 small events instead of this one big movie night sort of thing? So
offset costs with vendors though.
No, I pay for it all. So
yeah, I was thinking like that's like one offset, but
oh yeah, right.
If you want to, but
yeah, it's true. So I every year I'm trying to look at like, okay, should I add or subtract things, and what makes us the most return? Like I'll do anything for a year. Like I don't care what it costs, and if it makes me no money, then I cut it. And if I could see like it could lead to money, I'll leave it. So
nice. That's a good mindset to have. So
I'm not sure if that's the best way, but that's what I do. So.
Well, it's like you give it enough time for it to breathe.
Yeah, because I think a lot of people will cut things after like 3 months and like, oh, this isn't working. So, or like people will do the YouTube for 3 months and it doesn't work. I'm like, well, Sometimes, I mean, it would work. It worked in 3 months when nobody was doing it. Well, now when people are doing it, it's going to take longer. Like anything else, really.
Yeah. Really quickly, before we continue this episode, are you looking to grow your YouTube channel this year? We help top agents and team leaders build and grow their YouTube channels and generate an average 300K in GCI. We've helped channels like Brett Davis in Northern California close 2 deals in the first 3 months. We've helped other people like Austin Clark generate over 15 million in business his first year on YouTube. Kyle Taba in Kansas City double his YouTube channel in only 2 months. And then we've helped bigger channels like Chris Colgan generate 30 to 60 leads a month the first 2 months we worked with him. So if you want our help to do all of your YouTube for you, click the link below and schedule a strategy call and we could talk about how we can help you grow your YouTube channel. Now let's get back to the episode. So where is your head at? Like, here's where like I want to build. Here's kind of maybe the pieces I need in place.
Sure.
Like, is there anything that's kind of like on your mind?
I think having help to do all the things that I want to do. I just don't think I could do all these things. I mean, the admin is super helpful, but I think I would need another person to, like, if I really want to do the website, the blogs, the Instagram posts, the YouTube videos, because it's a lot.
Yeah.
So I think that would be the biggest thing. And then just giving up some of the buyer leads to my buyer's agents, giving more of them up than I'm doing right now, because that also takes a lot of time. The showings, the weekends, and all that sort of thing. And I could just focus on content and listings. That's what in a perfect world, that's what I would like to do. But, you know, easier said than done sometimes. So.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So if you're going to kind of talk to like your younger self going back into like content or like going back into like building it, how do you deal with the fact that, like, for example, you went a year and only got 1 deal and then you kind of switched up in 3 months you close, like, what would you say? And like, also at the same time, now you're 7 years in, this kind of second question is like, how do you not deal with like burnout?
Well, I have burned out. Like this end of last year, I was like, I just don't want to make any more videos. So I took a little break, and I'm just now getting back into YouTube again, because Instagram, I was actually having fun with the Instagram stuff. So I was like, I'm going to just do this for a minute. And then now that I got Instagram kind of on cruise control a little bit, trying to do all the videos, I want to, because I don't want to give up YouTube, because the leads you get from YouTube, they're just like different, because they already know you, like you, and trust you right off the bat. Because I've done like Ylopo,
yeah,
and stuff like that. And those leads, they can work, but they suck because they don't know you, like you, or trust you yet. And you have to work so hard to try to get to them. So once you work with like a YouTube lead, it's like hard to go back, because they're so good. They like hug you when they first meet you. I'm like, oh, I guess we're doing this. So, it's just, you can't beat the quality of a lead you get from YouTube. Even if maybe I'm not getting 100 per whatever a month anymore, but they're still way better than any lead you could possibly have. So.
Yeah, it's like a referral without the referral.
Oh yeah, it's almost better, because the referral is like, they still don't know you.
Yeah.
You know, the YouTube, they like know you you like pepperoni pizza, so they bring you donuts and stuff to.
They bring you.
Well, one person mailed us donuts to our office, because we was like, oh, no one ever sends us donuts, and then the next day someone sent us donuts to our office. Just some guy that was living in Pennsylvania.
That's funny.
Yeah, which is a little creepy, but you know.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
But yeah, it's just and YouTube is done. Like, I love YouTube. It's like, if I could hug YouTube, I would, because it's brought, you know, I think the year before. Well, I moved to San Diego in 2016. I moved from LA. I used to work in LA in real estate, and I didn't start YouTube till 2018-19, and didn't really start working till 2020. And I think in 2017 I made like $65,000 after I moved because I moved markets. You know, I knew like one person, and I was like, oh crap, this is not good. And then it's like, okay, then I'm going to double down on YouTube. And then 3 years later, I made $1 million.
Jeez.
So it was just like, it was mind blowing.
Entrepreneurship is like, it's such a roller coaster. Like, there's highs, there's lows.
Yeah.
And kind of looking at like the difference between 65,000, that low point, and then now, and then also that high point. Like, what would you say to like your younger self if they were going through those highs and lows?
don't get into real estate. I don't know. I just always believed it was going to work. So I was like, I don't know why. I'm just like stubborn that way, I guess. I was like, okay, this is a very bad year. Like this maybe was a bad move. We moved to San Diego. My wife had a job, thank God. So, and she always believed in it, that it would work. She's like, I used to work in the TV industry before, so I had a little background on how to make videos. And I'm like, I just know if I was looking for a house and I wanted to learn about neighborhoods, I'd want to watch videos about it. And if there was someone that I liked making videos, I would work with that person. So in my mind, I knew it would work. The restaurant things, I realized why that didn't work looking back on it. And I just feel like you have to find what works best for you, because not everyone's going to be good on camera. No, I'm not even that good on it. I just found ways to look better than I actually am on there. So, and like, I don't like big crowds. I don't even really like talking. Like people like, oh, you want to speak at this conference? I'm like, not really. Because I can do one-on-one really well, but when I have huge groups of people, I don't do great. So, what would I tell my younger self going through it? I just find something you like doing. I like making videos too. And if you don't like making videos, then don't make videos, because find something else that can generate you leads. But there's nothing I'd rather do than make a video. So,
Well, where can people go if they want to like follow you?
Instagram, it's at Bern McGovern is probably the easiest way to do it, or North County SD, or it's just on my other Instagram handle, or just Google my name and it'll show up pretty much anywhere.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, one thing I was curious, when you kind of see everything that you want to build and everything that you built, and you think of like leadership, and you think of the, kind of like the team that everything's going to take, what does world-class leadership mean to you?
I would say just teaching people how to, like, I'm probably not the best leader of people. I'm really good at like coming up with ideas and doing it, but I almost need someone that can help me manage people, that sort of thing. But as far as leadership, I think it's just being consistent, having humility. Like, not everyone's going to get everything the first time. So trust me, I don't at all. So, and just patience. I think patience is a huge thing. Just being compassionate and patient, I think, are the two biggest things that I would say that make for a good leader.